The elephant who never forgot. In 2016, villagers pelted a wild elephant with stones. The animal vanished into the forest, but it wasn't done. Hours later, it returned. The ground shook as it tore through huts like paper, splintering wood and crushing walls. It went straight for one man, the one who had hit it, and trampled him until bones snapped and the screams choked into silence. During his funeral that same night, the elephant appeared again, scattering mourners as it trampled the body.
Yeah. This one. Well, you want to show me like how to do like this?
No.
This like this the
Like this.
Do you mean show with the bar?
With the bar. The world.
This looks like insane. Can you just hold them up, please? It's like.
What is mop? Yeah, what is it? It's not a normal mop. Get me right.
Nice. Is it okay? I will show you. Like this, and then you like put in the legs like this. Like slowly. Like this. And then like very sensitive, you can even like touch it like this.
Or should we say Ra, the Phoenix. Let's start with the explanation of the word Israel. This, of course, comes from Isis and Osiris, the two pyramids. Ra is the center of the counter-rotating pyramids, the eye of the vortex. So, what about El? Let's take the labyrinth, which is in my view the electrical motherboard of the counter-rotating mechanism. El, the 12 angels. When you count the corridors in the labyrinth, you have 11 horizontal ones. The last vertical one is the Archangel Michael, which is the closest to God. In the center of the labyrinth, you have the box. On top of the box, you have the two cherubims, Sandalphon, the female, and Metatron, the male. So when you die, let's assume there is a spirit leaving the body. The spirit is sucked into the counter-rotating mechanism and is making a spiritual journey to the center of this mechanism. Several books have been written to guide you in this long travel. Finally, you arrive, and there you meet the god of the underworld, Osiris. Have you been a good person or a bad person? Anubis is weighing your heart. If you were a bad guy, you will be eaten in hell by Amut. This, of course, is the Catholic story of Jesus waiting for you in heaven. The Archangel Michael will weigh your soul, and if you are a bad person, you will go to hell. We can clearly see the double pyramid here, the Ka and the Ba. Let's go back to the moment where you are sucked into the pyramid. Now you are in the box, and you have a good chat with God. And God says, why don't you go back? Learn from your mistakes. Try again. So you return in free will. Possibility 2. You are in the box, but you refuse to listen to God. So God throws you in the pit, the burning pit of hell. Now you end up in the Taurus, and there you reincarnate, so to speak. So the only function of religion is to keep you in Ra incarnation. The only thing that is keeping you in Ra incarnation is the fear of God and the fear of hell. Let's take a look at some dirty tricks of religion. You have the hostia and the chalice, and the hostia is the eye of the Taurus, the eye of Horus. Let's take a look at some Catholic black magic.
Lamgoud staat weg, neemt de zonden der wereld. Lamgoud staat weg, neemt de zonden der wereld.
So you ritually destroy the consciousness of the Taurus by breaking the eye of Horus.
Zie dan het lam Gods dat wegneemt de zonde uit deze wereld.
And what is next? Well, you let them eat it. And here another black magic trick. Put a black cross on the pineal gland. You slice the vortex. And it's not just Catholicism. Let's take a look at Mecca from the air, the region of the black box, the Kaaba. Here we go again. You recreate a miniature of our crater Earth, and you ritually destroy it by putting a black box in it. That is what we call voodoo. For another example, let's return to the Kaaba. One of my viewers drew the attention to the word scarab. What is the scarab doing? He is collecting shit. Shit in Europe is called kaka. And this viewer said that in Hungarian, baba is egg. So the scarab is laying eggs in the shit of another organism. Mankind was living in perfect harmony with nature, but at a certain point in time we were parasited. So the apple might be the egg and the snake might be the scarab, just like the phoenix returns once in a while to lay an egg. Every year we celebrate our infection.
Artificial intelligence language models are providing a new breakthrough to interpret that brain information. New research shows that the tech can help read people's private thoughts.
For most people, those private thoughts come from an inner dialogue inside their head, a voice that they usually associate with themselves. But do we really know where that voice is coming from? Because for a while now, not only has the military had the technology to create a human voice straight out of thin air, but have you heard the term voice-to-skull technology? It's basically an AI-driven robot that's able to put voices inside our heads. It has a patent under a therapy tool for abuse victims. They recreate voices from the people in your past and try to trigger suppressed memories to see who abused you. But the reality is they can produce any voice they want. Now, doing a little research, you'll see that a lot of these things happen through medical implants inside the body.
Researchers at MIT, Harvard Medical School, and Brigham and Women's Hospital have recently invented a technology to wirelessly power up tiny devices like this one, deep inside the human body. These devices have no batteries, yet the new technology can wirelessly power them up and communicate with them from a distance outside the body.
And with these implants, you basically turn yourself into a remote control car. Now I know what you're thinking. I don't have any medical implants and I don't plan on getting any. Well, what if you didn't know that you already had it? Because now there's a thing called smart dust. It's a nanotechnology. It's basically a fog of computers. They're nanostructured sensors that can automatically assemble, align, sense, and report about its local environment. These particles are so tiny and light that they can remain suspended in the air like ordinary dust particles. But it's not dust at all. It's computer processors.
Exactly is smart dust. These are minuscule devices equipped with sensors, communication capabilities, and sometimes even computing power. Picture countless microscopic sensors scattered across a forest, constantly gathering data on temperature, humidity, and even pollution levels. This isn't just science fiction. It's happening right now.
But smart dust isn't the only thing. See, nanotechnology is used in a lot of medical things. They're even using nanotechnology to control people's movements and modes of motion. So the reality is you could have this kind of technology inside of you and not even know it. Now, what if I told you they don't need the implants? They don't need the nanotech, they don't need any of it. Because they already have the ability to make you and I the computers. It's called human body communication, HBC for short. It's a system that uses low frequency to transfer information through the human body. You're basically a transmitter that can be accessed from multiple different sources. In short, they are transferring data through the human body without anybody even knowing it. I don't know about you, but I didn't sign up to be a motor. But you know what? That's all probably nothing to worry about. It's not like they can control our minds or anything. Else they say
The orca who waited for the cue. At Sealand in Canada, trainer Kelty Burns slipped into a pool with 3 captive orcas. Witnesses say the whales didn't just lash out. They worked together. Each time she tried to reach the surface, they blocked her path, forcing her back under. It took 2 hours to recover her body. Fun fact, in the wild, orcas have never been known to kill humans, but in captivity, that rule seems to break.
That still haunts the family involved. A mother stood at the counter, preparing food, until her arms started stretching. They grew longer, unnaturally thin, reaching all the way to the floor. Her body didn't move, but something about her felt wrong. Frozen in horror, her family watched as her limbs twisted into something inhuman. Was this a shapeshifter? A possession? They didn't wait to find out. A priest was called immediately, but the real fear lingered. What if whatever had taken hold of her wasn't gone, just waiting to return? The smiling woman. A man took a nighttime stroll down a quiet footpath when he spotted a woman standing motionless ahead. At first, nothing seemed unusual until he got closer. Her face was unnervingly pale. Her grin stretched too wide. Her eyes locked onto him without blinking. A chill ran down his spine. He hurried past, resisting the urge to look back. That smile felt unnatural, almost predatory. Whatever she was, something told him he had been lucky to escape without a word. Some encounters are better left unexplored. While recording her dance moves, something strange happened with this girl. Behind her was a mirror, but her reflection wasn't acting normal. It wasn't following her in sync. Instead, the glimpse inside the mirror looked right at her, almost like there was a twin inside, copying her every move. She quickly sensed something was off. Without wasting a second, she stopped and left the room. What would you do in this situation? Let me know in the comments. Mysterious teeth. Tupac, not real? It sounds wild, right? But watch this. During a casual conversation with a reporter, Tupac's smile seemed a little off. When he showed his teeth, something felt strange, almost like they weren't quite right. But it didn't stop there. In a split second, there was a glimpse of his teeth and tongue that looked unnatural, almost inhuman. It was like something creepy was hiding in him. He quickly covered up, kept his cool, and acted like everything was normal. But once you notice it, it's hard to forget. Bite and bite. Who knew a pizza slice could raise so many questions? At a public event, former President Joe Biden seemed completely normal until one strange moment changed everything. He picked up a slice of pizza, brought it to his mouth, but didn't eat it. Instead, he carefully pulled it back out, untouched, and then pretended like he was chewing, smiling, nodding, as if nothing weird happened. But why fake it? A normal person wouldn't do that. That's why many believe it wasn't really him at all. Maybe a clone, or even a reptilian pretending to be human. A tall, thin figure stood beneath a street lamp, its elongated neck twisting in slow, unnatural movements. Its hands traced eerie patterns in the air, almost like a ritual. People walked past, oblivious, as if they couldn't see it. The visitor's breath hitched. He wasn't supposed to see it either. Later, reports surfaced. Different places, different people, the same figure. If it was real, it wasn't staying in one place. And if it wasn't, then why did so many keep seeing it?
Christmas Day 2007 at the San Francisco Zoo, a Siberian tiger named Tatiana escaped her enclosure. Investigators believe she had been taunted and abused for weeks. Somehow, she scaled a 12-foot wall, found the men who had tormented her, and killed one instantly with a bite to the neck. She then stalked the other two through the dark before police finally brought her down.
How well do you know yourself? Your thoughts, your feelings, your memories? When you hear that little voice inside your head, do you know who it is? Well, what if I told you that most people are in the most intense battle of their lives, and they don't even know it? And that battle is to be the only ones in control of our own bodies and our own minds. You see, scientists just came out and said that they developed a machine that through brain signals can read your inner thoughts. They can even run the data and have the computer speak your thoughts out loud. It's restoring communication to paralysis patients.
In Indonesia, a fisherman killed a massive crocodile tangled in his net. Days later, its partner appeared. The river exploded. The croc's jaws clamped around his torso, ribs snapping like dry twigs. It yanked him into the depths and spun, shredding flesh and turning the water red. For hours, it kept his mangled body pinned to the riverbed. When it finally released him, he floated downstream, a warning to anyone who dared cross it again.
What's wrong with you?
A woman felt something watching her from outside. When she glanced through the glass door, her stomach dropped. A doll-like figure stood motionless, staring right at her. Its lips moved. It was speaking, asking to be let in. Before she could react, it started pounding on the glass. Harder and harder. Heart racing, she ran, locking herself in her room. That night, strange noises echoed through the house. Whispers, tapping. Something moving just outside. But when morning came, there was nothing there. Whatever had tried to enter wasn't just a doll, and no one in the house ever dared to check the door again. Deep in the woods, an explorer found something worse than Bigfoot. A decaying treehouse sat hidden among the trees, and inside, something skeletal and pale crouched in the shadows. Tangled hair covered its face until it moved. Crawling forward in an unnatural way, it lifted its hands and made a strange motion. The explorer collapsed instantly, paralyzed. The video cut off before revealing what happened next. Days later, whispers spread. It wasn't human. It was a swang, a shapeshifter that lures its prey. What it became after that is something no one will ever know.
Huh?
Twisted Girl. A quiet drive through empty roads can feel eerie, but for one local, it became something far worse. Up ahead, a girl stood on the roadside, unmoving, her long hair covering most of her face. At first, she looked like someone who needed help, but as he got closer, the shape of her body looked wrong. Limbs bent unnaturally, her joints seemed out of place, yet she stood perfectly still. Then, her head snapped upward, eyes too wide, her expression frozen in an unsettling smile. Before he could react, she moved. Not walking, but moved so fast, it didn't seem human. The last seconds of his dashcam footage showed her inches from his car window before the video cut to black. Cursed caverns. A lone villager strayed too far from familiar paths and found himself in a place that shouldn't have existed. Strange cave-like houses lined the area, their entrances gaping like open mouths. Odd plants twisted in unnatural shapes, their purpose unclear but deeply unsettling. Then, movement. A dark figure swayed within the shadows, watching. Without warning, the entrance to one of the caves flared up in eerie flames, casting flickering light on the grotesque scene. The villager didn't wait to find out what it meant. He turned and ran, never speaking of what he had seen. Whatever lurked in that forgotten place wasn't meant for human eyes.
It's been a decade since the Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. Around 80 new fragments of the ancient texts have been revealed to the public.
They said some scrolls were lost to time. But what if AI just found what wasn't meant to be read? In 2021, archaeologists risked everything to reach a cave sealed for 60 years.
I'm here from the cave. Do you hear me?
I hear you.
Here for 60 years?
Discovered amazing things.
Really? What'd you find?
What they uncovered wasn't just scripture. It was a story buried on purpose, written in Greek, marked in Hebrew, hidden for a reason. Then the machines stepped in. They filled the blanks, decoded the silence. What they revealed? You're not ready. AI just cracked the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's worse than we thought.
15 columns of text in ancient Greek seen for the first time in almost 2,000 years.
Silence has been replaced by something louder. And for those holding on to old certainties, are about to get uncomfortable.
Zechariah writes of what is to come, from the rebuilding of the temple and Jerusalem to a coming messianic king.
The descent into the cave of horror. When archaeologists dropped into a Judean cave in 2021, they weren't just searching for bones or pottery. They were after something deeper, something that had been buried under dust and time for over 60 years. What they uncovered was only the beginning. The real shock would come later, when artificial intelligence stepped in to piece things together. We'll get to that, but first, let's look at where it all started. To get into the cave, researchers had to rappel straight down a steep 80-meter drop from the cliff's edge. It wasn't just risky, it was physically demanding. But for Oren Abelman and his team at the Israel Antiquities Authority, the effort was worth it. Hidden deep in those rocks were fragments of ancient texts. And not just any texts. These were pieces of the Dead Sea Scrolls. Small, brittle scraps that had somehow survived centuries of heat, decay, and silence. Abelman admitted that what they found wasn't much in size. These are tiny scraps, he said. But even scraps can say a lot when placed in the right order. The team managed to reassemble some of them like a jigsaw puzzle. Slowly, phrases and meanings began to return to life, offering a rough idea of what once was. The cave where all this happened is known officially as Cave 8, but most call it something else, the Cave of Horror. That name wasn't chosen at random. It came